Hi, welcome to this Microsoft Dataverse Overview. In this video, you will learn what is Microsoft Dataverse, what can you do with it, what are its main features, plus I will make a demo of several of these features throughout the video. Get ready. Okay, so what is the Microsoft Dataverse? To make things simple, we can say that Dataverse is a database. It is the data storage technology used by the Power Platform and Microsoft Dynamics 365. It is the main place to store data for Power Apps. In many ways, it is similar to traditional relational databases such as SQL Server, for instance, as data is stored in tables and tables have relationships. But there's a lot more that goes into Dataverse that makes it unique and different from traditional databases, as you will learn throughout this video. It starts with a Microsoft 365 tenant. A tenant is an instance of the Microsoft 365 services. In this example from Microsoft, Contoso Corp has a tenant. And once your organization has a tenant, it can then create environments. Dataverse allows you to choose in which geographic location your Dataverse will be located. You do that at the environment level. Each environment will be on a different location. In this example, there is one environment in USA, one in Canada, and one in Australia. So for instance, if the users of your application live in a different country, you can create your Dataverse environment in the specific country where they live. Each environment has one single Dataverse database. If you need a second instance, then you create a second environment. If you want to see your environments, log into Power Apps and then go to here on Environment. And here on the right side, your environments are going to be displayed. In this case, I have two. This one and this one. And then if you want details about your environments, you can click here and click Go to Admin Center. There you can see when the environment was created, who created it, and a lot more information. Now, before we proceed, let me tell you, if you have any specific questions about Dataverse, feel free to ask in the comments down below so that I can address them. Differently from most databases that are installed locally, Dataverse runs on the cloud, on Microsoft Azure. That means Dataverse is managed by Microsoft. This makes it easier to work with than traditional databases, as you don't need a team in-house to maintain the database. Dataverse is scalable. It can hold millions of records, terabytes of data, and you can start small and buy more capacity as you need. So what are the Dataverse main features? As you can see here in this image, it has a security layer, a logic layer, a data layer, a storage layer, an integration layer, and an API for communication and integration. We will cover each of these throughout the video. I'm going to explain the concepts and also demo directly in Dataverse so that you can see it live in action. So let's talk about data and storage first. Data is stored on tables. Tables are organized into columns. Each column has a data type. So let's create a table on Dataverse for you to see. To create a new table in Dataverse, you go to Tables. It's going to list all of your tables here. Then you go to New Table, Set Advanced Properties. It's going to open this tab here on the right side. In the Display Name field, you type the name of your table. So I'm going to call it Fruit. In the field below, it automatically adds the plural for that table. In primary column, the default name for every table that you create, it's name. Let's leave the default and click Save. When you click Save, the first time you see here, the name that is displayed is this strange name. So what you do is you click Refresh on the browser, and then it's going to show the correct name. All right, there you go. Okay, so next thing, let's take a look here at the columns. You see name, which is the primary column, and then Dataverse automatically added 18 more columns. So if you click here, you're going to see all of those columns. So let's say we can add created on, and let's see status. Let's take a look at this too. See, it added both of them here. Okay, now let's add one additional column that we are creating ourselves. So it's going to be called quantity. Okay, here in the data type field, you choose the type of column that you are creating. So here, we're going to be saying this is a number type of column. You could choose all of these data types: text, number, date and time, lookup, choice. In this case, it's going to be number. And then we click Save. And it's going to add this new column. Here it is, to our table. Okay, now let's add some data. Orange. And let's say that we have 6. And we say banana. And we have 2. And apple, we have 4. All right. And that's how you create a table in Dataverse. Dataverse allows implementing business logic directly at the database table level, which is something usually done just at the application level. Let's see how this works. We're going to add a business rule for the fruits table that we just created. If you go to the quantity field here, you will notice that it is possible to add a negative number to quantity. Let's say -8. When you do that, data is saved, but that's an incorrect value. We don't want that. So let's first change it back to a positive number, and then we're going to create a business rule. So to do that, we click on Business Rules. Then here, there are no business rules yet for this table. So we are going to create new business rule. When we do that, it opens this new window. We click on Condition, and then it's going to open these fields on the right side of the screen. Okay. First, we're going to change the name here. So we're going to call this quantity validation. And then we're going to call here the name of the condition, min quantity. Okay. Then we're going to say that this is a rule for the quantity field. And we will also say the operator, the check that we want to do. In this case, we're going to select is less than value. And what is the value? In this case, 0. This automatically creates this rule, this condition, quantity is less than 0. Then we click Apply, and that rule goes to here, and it says if quantity is less than 0, then what is going to happen? In our case, we're going to be displaying an error message. To do that, you click Add, then Add Show Error Message. Then we click the plus sign and adds this box here. When you click that box, you can say here that it is the quantity error message. And we say here that it's the quantity field, and we add a message. Quantity cannot be less then 0. Apply. After we click apply, the rule is going to come here. Then show the error message, quantity cannot be less than 0 against field quantity. We're done. Now we click validate. Now we click save. It's going to save our rule. And we click activate. Okay, activation is complete. The new rule is here. Quantity validation, status on. All right, now let's go back to the table and see and test that rule. Okay, we are here in the fruits table. So now I'm going to add a negative number, let's say -8. And you're going to see one row is not saved. This is how you create a business rule for a Dataverse table. Dataverse implements Microsoft Entra ID to authenticate users. Entra ID is the former Azure Active Directory. You can use it to provide user access to your database. Dataverse also allows you to implement security roles so that you can provide the right privileges to each user. Dataverse allows to control security even at very granular levels, such as authorization for specific table columns and even for specific roles. Dataverse can be integrated with several different software products, both products from Microsoft, such as Excel, SharePoint, SQL Server, and also products from other vendors as well, such as Oracle, Salesforce, SAP, and many others. That is done through the use of connectors. And if a connector to the data source you want doesn't exist yet, you can create a custom connector for it. Dataverse has a feature called Virtual Tables. Virtual Tables allows you to map a database table that lives in an external database into Dataverse. And then, when that is done, you can start using that table as if it were a table inside Dataverse. And any updates to that table will reflect in the original database outside Dataverse. This facilitates integrations as you don't need to duplicate data. There is also audit for you to see the complete history of operations done in your Dataverse instance. You can even track changes of a single table record, when it was created, the updates it had, when it was deleted, who created, updated, or deleted a record. In future videos, we'll see exactly how this works. Subscribe and turn the little bell on to be notified when this happens. Another valuable Dataverse feature is its ability to provide analytics reports for you to analyze how your application is being used. These reports contain nice charts that will provide you with great insight on how things are going within your database. In Dataverse, you can even use artificial intelligence to help you get your work done. It is Microsoft Copilot. Copilot is an AI tool available in the Power Platform. You can use Copilot, for instance, to help you build your database tables. And is Dataverse the only database alternative for Power Apps? No, it is not. Dataverse is one of the alternatives when creating Power Apps, but it is not the only one. There is a wide range of options for you to choose when creating Power Apps applications. In the future, I'll make more videos about Dataverse. Click the subscribe button below and activate the little bell icon to be notified whenever new videos are posted. And watch the other videos here in the channel to learn how you can access Power Apps, how you can build a Canvas app, how you can build a model-driven app, how you can use Copilot, and much more.